Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It has just been announced that the Veep-elect, J.D. Vance, invited Daniel Penny to attend the Army-Navy game with Vance, Trump, and others for the big Army-Navy game. They're going to be together. Obviously, Daniel Penny, the exonerated Marine, exonerated by that New York jury after top New York persecutor Alvin Bragg charged the Good Samaritan in that tragic subway case. And so perhaps he and Trump, I guess, in a strange way, have a lot in common with that top persecutor, Alvin Bragg, choosing to push this through. But the jury did the right thing. So they're going to be together. And that's wonderful. So much news. But our friend Jeff Bartos, before he catches a plane, is able to hop on, say hello, take another victory lap. And good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Dawn. Thank you so much for having me on. I hope you and your family are well at this beautiful holiday season.
Oh, blessings to you as well. So I know that you're, talking about the upcoming swearing-in ceremony, January 20th, and that this is something in our American history that is something we haven't seen before. Trump, the Trump effect.
Well, before we talk about the inauguration and even the swearing in of our new congressman and Senator McCormick or Senator-elect McCormick on January 3rd, if I can, just a second on the Daniel Penny. It's not being discussed, but I'm hopeful that when the new Justice Department, so when the new Attorney General and the new her assistants and deputies take office shortly after January 20th, they'll look at whether Alvin Bragg violated Daniel Penny's civil rights. I am a lawyer, but I don't practice that type of law. But I'm just going to put the issue out there that if he was prosecuted because of some immutable characteristic and violated his civil rights, whether it's a racial issue or whether it's another issue, I think the Justice Department ought to take a look at the motives for the prosecution. Yes, there are prosecutorial. He has immunity as a prosecutor for lots of things, but this may shock the conscience. And I think it's worth looking into whether Alvin Bragg should and his office should be brought up on violations of Daniel Penny's civil rights. I think, and then I would also close on that issue by simply saying, what a beautiful gesture for the vice president-elect to invite Daniel Penny to join the president-elect and the team at the Army-Navy game. What a beautiful gesture. This is the type of leadership now that Donald Trump's bringing, whether it's in Paris last weekend, whether it's yesterday at the stock exchange. The leadership, America's back.
I had the same feeling. And so many people that I talked to, Jeff, this is what they were saying. Just saying, yesterday, seeing that and how, the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, it just broke out in USA and fight. And there was this positive energy. But, I guess he's just a fascist or a dictator. That's what the media told us. It's incredible.
Well, I think, we can ignore. Ignore is probably not the right word. I'm always going to be respectful. But I am diminishing my attention that I pay to these naysayers. I mean, I'm 52. In my lifetime, I don't recall a president-elect going to the stock exchange. The last time it happened was 1984 with President Reagan. I don't recall a president-elect going to the stock exchange with most of his cabinet. Yeah. To me, that was the really moving and inspiring part of yesterday, was to see this group of very excited, vital, smart, capable people standing behind the president-elect and the vice president-elect, getting ready to, on 12:01 p.m. on January 20th, to get America back, to make America great again, to make America healthy again, to make America safe again, drilling, getting our energy resources going. It's so exciting, and you can feel it. I mean, I was on the set of CNN last night. I can tell you that, the legacy media may not be excited, but I sure am.
You, in so many ways, Jeff Bartos, we talked a lot about the American Jewish vote and concern over that. And do you think that moving forward, as far as Trump's picks that are pro-Israeli, that is a sign that is well received by by Jewish Americans who voted for Trump or didn't vote for him either way?
Well, I think you start with the idea that being pro-Israel or being pro-U.S.-Israel relationship is really being pro-Western civilization. So I talk about this a lot, whereas anti-Semitism, yes, is hatred of Jews, but it's really, really manifests itself as hatred of America, hatred of West. You did not see any anti-Israel protests over the last 14 months where they were not also burning the American flag. And, you can even draw a line, and I hate to say this, it's really so sad, but this murderer, this Penn grad, who murdered a father of two in cold blood on the streets of New York, he was taught in K through 12 and in college to hate America, and he was taught to hate capitalism. And you could see it in, I wish we weren't giving any attention to his manifesto, but where it bears pointing out that, this intellectual and moral rot that's happening in K through 12 and university education at the so-called elite schools. I mean, at the end of the day, they're being taught to hate the West, hate America, hate Israel. And so I think, look at the picks. Elise Stefanik is going to be the most effective UN ambassador we've seen in our lifetime. She is absolutely remarkable. We all remember what she did to those college presidents in the hearing just a year ago, right, last December. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, Mike Waltz, who's a personal friend as National Security Advisor. I could kind of go through the whole cabinet. Lee Zeldin at the EPA, the president-elect, the vice president-elect, the team that they put together, Pam Bondi at Justice, Kash Patel, who's another close personal friend at FBI. These are pro-America. Forget about pro-America, right? Of course they're pro-America. They understand the tie between Israel is on the front lines fighting the battle to save Western civilization. They're the tip of the spear. And we have nominees to these important cabinet posts who understand the tie between the Judeo-Christian values that underpin the entire American experiment and how it ties back to ancient Israel and now the modern state of Israel. It's really I know I've used the word before this morning. It's inspiring. It really is. And I think the president has made good on all of his promises, and he will continue to make good on all of his promises. And you could probably hear it in my voice. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, I hear you. And I know you're excited for the Dave McCormick swearing in January. I think Dan just saw you, our great Dan Borowski, executive producer. You just saw you on CNN. You wanted to ask?
I was out last night. Yeah.
That was last night. I thought that was just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good job there with Scott Jennings, and talking about John Fetterman and the reaction that he's kind of gotten from what happened with his meeting with Pete Hegseth, and kind of just hearing him out. Some audio here, a video clip, real quick, Jeff, you don't mind. We're gonna play Fetterman in the hallway after his meeting with Pete Hegseth. Take a listen.
Okay, heads up, guys.
Just hold until he comes out. And then clear space behind him if he decides to talk. Space behind him.
We agreed that the Steelers are going to win.
Are you a yes?
And he doesn't have a real opinion on Sheets or Wawa. He doesn't have a lot of experience on that.
Quite the joke
But of
there,
course we know
Fetterman.
Sheets is the right one, and the Steelers are going to win. And now also the news is that we actually had a meeting. We had a meeting. We had a conversation, and that's what happened. And
So you
that's
like
where
what
we're
you
at.
see except the
There really
Steelers
is no
prediction?
news.
So, Jeff, it's very visual. The reporters are mobbing him. He tries to joke around, but in a sense, everything he has indicated, being the first Democrat on True Social this week, he's had a lot of firsts. Now meeting with Pete Hegseth, first Democrat. What do you see here?
Well, so I think getting back to the original point about the young man from Penn who is a cold-blooded murderer, 2 days ago, Elizabeth Warren, who's not that bright and is also crazy and getting crazier, she basically justified the killing. She said we condemn violence, and anything that comes before the but should be completely discounted, right? So we condemn violence, and then she went on to sort of justify it, which is disgusting and despicable, and she's crazy and dangerous. She's crazy and dangerous. John Fetterman, here's what he said. He said, and I'm going to paraphrase, why are we giving this guy any attention? He is going to die in jail where he should. That's what John said. So moral clarity and common sense from our soon-to-be senior senator from Pennsylvania is very, very welcome. The fact that he's, as you said, first Democrat on True Social is terrific. He met with Elise Stefanik the other day, and he said, I was already 100% for her, and now I'm even more for her. She's strong on the U.S.-Israel relationship, combating anti-Semitism. Like, that's really important to hear from any of our senators. Hearing it from a Democrat, maybe there's a common sense caucus building within some members of the Democrat senators who want to push back on this woke madness that they've been infected with as a party, maybe. But John's showing real leadership. he and I debated this a lot over the last 8 years. As you know, we're personal friends, and we've debated this a lot. I'm an Eagles Sheets guy, and he accuses me of being a consummate politician if I'm picking Sheets in the Eagles. But I just have to. I always tell him it's just because I have good taste, and nothing against Wawa. I love Wawa, but I know the Sheets family personally, and I love Sheets. But the Eagles are going to win this weekend, in case there was any doubt.
Do you have a score? Do you have something in mind?
Oh gosh, it's going to be a great game. 24-21 Eagles.
Okay, 24-21. I love it. Jeff Bartos, I know you have to run. You're always gracious.
Eagles!
Yes. Bless. If I don't talk to you beforehand, blessed Hanukkah, blessed season of the holidays, and can't wait until obviously early January with McCormick, and then Trump January 20th. It's going to be a great 2025, my friend.
Well, Dawn, happy to come on anytime. Dan, thank you for reaching out. And Merry Christmas, healthy and happy New Year to you both and all your families and to all your listeners.
Oh, thanks a million. Jeff Bartos. Yeah, it was great of you to get a hold of him, Dan. Really appreciate it. I'm sure there'll be cutaways of Daniel Penny at the Army-Navy game with Vance and Trump. That should be a great moment. We're going to have some fun just ahead, right around the corner. Remember the song War?
Well, no, that's not them. That was a different band.
I know, but we were making fun of it like a punt, like Greg and Nick and I before. Sorry, this was from earlier.
Yeah, no, it's
not that, but it's anyway. War.com.
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
Lowrider, and their great hit "Summertime," Dawn, which they're coming on to talk about because they just retrofitted the song into a Christmas song. And take a listen.
Christmas trees are lit and standing tall. Yeah, 'cause it's Christmas time is here.
Lonnie Jordan, Jerry Goldstein with War, the other War. Can't wait to talk to him. Be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
The Philadelphia Orchestra captivates audiences with their superhuman sound. Savor the artistry of Philly's world-class hometown orchestra in these upcoming concerts.
Brighten your holidays with one of the most glorious works ever written, Handel's Messiah, December 21st and 22nd. Or make plans to enjoy the most spectacular New Year's Eve celebration in town. And don't forget that tickets make great gifts.
Explore all the entertainment possibilities at philorg.org now.
Make your home renovation dreams come true with Emmons Remodeling.
We handle everything from concept to completion, delivering beautiful, functional spaces for you and your family to enjoy.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts ensure your project is completed on time and on budget.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The National Museum of American Jewish History inches closer to becoming a Smithsonian museum. A Bucks County man sues nearly a dozen snack food makers, claiming they market dangerous products to children. And Scott Lawton lights the lamp all 4 times to tie a Flyers record in a win over Detroit.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Bob's Little Sports Shop, Delsey Drive in Glassboro, is your one-stop shop for firearms and firearm safety. Bob's now offers an expanded selection and classroom area, NRA-certified instructors for all your firearm education. Bob's also has your New Jersey carry permit qualifications and an indoor pistol range open daily.
As they wrote our founding documents, our founders prayed each day that God would guide them as they wrote and guide them on their way. They knew that all our liberties were a gift from God above, and that we all must work to keep this land we love. We call this land America, the land of the free. To keep this the greatest land, it's up to you and me. Our freedom is a constant fight. We all must do our part. To stand and fight for all our rights is where we all must start.
Remember Bob's Little Sports Shop for firearms and firearm safety. Call 856-881-7575 or bobslittle.sportshop.com. Paid for by Bob's Little Sports Shop, Glassboro, New Jersey. It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Hey, Santa's got a new jam. Thanks to our friends, legendary rockers of the band War. They sang Why Can't We Be Friends, an American funk band War. That was in the summer of 75 top song. By the way, it was played by the Astronauts, just a little trivia. But I love this new holiday single. Checking it out. It's got a little positive energy, special jam to it. And some familiar names that I know you love. Legendary Lonnie Jordan, Jerry Goldstein joining me now. And these are, I am awed and humbled to be joined by two legendary rock stars, really. Thanks for being here this morning.
Oh, thank you. Our pleasure.
And you got to follow them on @WarTheBand or war.com. So I understand that, you know, you love to jam, and this started like a lot of your songs with you guys just hanging out, doing some jams. Is that how it all began?
Well, we were already together. We were already a band, but as far as we would just start jamming anything, push a button. Jerry Goldstein was the button pusher. He would push the jam button, and we just start jamming, and we would jam for an hour or a little over an hour, and then he would take sections of those jams and that he thought was interesting, and then we would start working from that point on to maybe creating a theme or topic or talk about our day, to come up with something. That's how we did it. We didn't sit down and write sheet music and charts, and we just didn't do that. We just jammed.
I love it.
That's fascinating.
It is.
They just sit in a studio, play songs, just go on, and Jerry just being the fascinating, incredible producer that he is. I mean, it's some amazing hits that this guy's responsible for. Hang on, Sloopy, I Want Candy. He would just take the great sounds of the band and turn them into hits, Dawn. Wow.
Yeah, so Jerry Goldstein, obviously conceiving the group.
Don't be in trouble. At the same time.
Yeah, that was a different era. You know, but those songs, we wrote and actually made records of, had charts, etc. When I got to War, it was like just a new horizon. It was something brand new for me too. And what I figured is let them do what they do. and I'll figure out what to do with it and how to make it commercial, but don't inhibit the group from performing the way they perform. And that was really my philosophy of it all. And they became one of the big-time jam bands of the era and of all time, basically.
And these are if I could just
created the music.
And if I could just say this, just because you transcend the generations. I have teenage sons. We're all of a sudden they're on their phone. They're literally Low Rider or Why Can't We Be Friends? Gypsy Man, Cisco Kids, Summer, The World's a Ghetto, Spill the Wine. Yeah, it's like. So the fact that you are, just multi-generational. And now I love this song. Yes, it's Christmas. Tell me how it began with the new holiday single. How did you come up with this?
Well, I must say that originally the song is Summer. And instead of us trying to instead of us taking Joy to the World or Silent Night and creating some type of fast up-tempo song, we just decided, Jerry and I decided to take one of our tracks, which we did, which was Summer, which is also a jam song, and decided to take it to winter. And Jerry wrote the lyrics, new lyrics, which are Christmas lyrics, to Summer, and I redid the vocal. And we remixed it, and we put like some extra amenities on it, like ice cream, cookie, and cakes, and cupcakes, and stuff like and jingle bells and all that stuff. And the rest is history.
Yeah,
the record.
I love it.
The record companies. Yeah, thank you. The record company was on us to do a Christmas record for many years, and we just didn't feel to do someone else's song would be the right thing to do. So we came up with the idea, do our own song. So we took Summer and took the track and put the vocals on and all the spice that we put on for Christmas. And now we have Yes, It's Christmas. I took it back to the record company. They went crazy. We made a video, and here we are.
I think I recently saw you at the Macy's Day Parade performing, right?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
That must have been a blast. So where can people? I mean, we can follow you obviously on X, We're the Band, or War.com to catch up with you, Lonnie Jordan, Jerry Goldstein. But everybody can download this new single, the new hit single. It's out there, right?
Can I throw a compliment their way too? Because I brought this around to at least 4 or 5 like 20+ year radio veterans. A bunch of them being very strong War fans, going back all the way, 70s, 80s. And I played this song for them. And a lot of times when you hear a band come out with a song like this, it's like, okay, this song, guys, the writing on it is beautiful. It flows so well. It almost sounds like this song was supposed to be about Christmas rather than summer. So bravo. And I just want to say one more thing too to Lonnie. I don't know if Jerry was there too, but a couple years back, Lonnie did a tour with Cheech and Chong, and I called him at the House of Blues down at the Atlantic City venue. And I gotta say, Lonnie, you put on such an amazing show. Are you still touring, and are there gonna be dates coming up?
We are still touring. We've never stopped, and there are a lot of dates coming up. Japan, all the way to Japan, back to the UK, and all through the United States. We're not going to stop. And by the way, Jerry wasn't there because Jerry doesn't play. He's a button pusher. and he's a tape slicer. back in the day before computers.
Yeah, not to mention...
I take offense as a producer to all this.
Yeah, not to mention 20 platinum and gold albums and singles. So I'm not surprised that it's fantastic. And it's already a Christmas classic, if I may say so. But it's a real honor.
Thank you so much.
We have so many people come through here, and it's amazing how many people were just so excited that you were coming on today to share, a little bit about the background and take us back to the 70s all the way till now. Lonnie Jordan and Jerry Goldstein, just can't thank you enough for joining me this morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays to you. Keep on rocking. You got to do what you love, that's for sure. But thanks, Dan, for setting that up.
Such pleasant guys, huh?
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah.
And
Legends
they bust
in the
each other's
music
chops,
industry.
which is nice.
A button pusher, Lonnie, come on.
He's just a button pusher.
I take offense to that myself. That's all I do.
But this song, when you hear it, you just initially, because, they're taking the music, the instrumental. At first I thought, oh, wait, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
Or this is another Christmas classic. And that's to their credit, right? It's beautiful.
Yeah, I genuinely am a big fan of this song.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I'll be putting this one in the rotation at home. But yeah, nice to have them in Legends. And I mentioned it, I didn't want to go too deep into it, but Jerry is just, as a producer, I look at Jerry and I'm like, wow, this guy is amazing. And what he did is he kind of touched upon it, but he would work with just artist after artist. And rather than give them sheet music or write them music, he'd use his ears and somehow takes hours upon hours of sessions, cut it down into a popular song, one that hits as well as it does, and put out hit after hit. And just seeing something like that is fascinating to me, because I look at that, I'm like, I can't do that. It's nuts. It's crazy. So awesome to have the Legends both on the show today.
Yeah, it reminds me of, everybody gives Phineas, who's Billie Eilish's brother, a lot of credit because of the way he produces her. But in truth, that's exactly what her brother does. If you take a modern day person. But the difference is, think about the technology that's available to alter voices, to take, the editing equipment that they have nowadays. So what he did was each person in studio. So you record this person fully, then you take another person, do their separate jam. Everything is separate. And then putting that together without all the computer technology. I think that's what's incredible about it, for sure. Speaking of technology, I'm checking my little VPN status report, as I do throughout the morning. We got, how many right now? We got 39. So just now, 39 creepy sites are just being blocked from tracking me. And no matter where I go, this is what I love. I just feel great with DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro. Automatically, repeatedly scans over 50 sites at a time. Sites which can store or sell my information, your information. And obviously that, raises the risk of becoming a victim of fraud or identity theft. So right now, you have a limited chance. I think this is running out maybe by the end of today or through the weekend. So this is a limited chance that you can try this incredible service free for an entire month. 30 days free. Go to duckduckgo.com/1210. And it is a 3 services included: VPN, full device protection, encrypted VPN. It's built for speed, simplicity, security, with servers across the United States. And yes, when I go to Italy in the spring, for Europe. Personal information removal, finding and removing all those personal details that are out there, like your name and address from sites which store and sell it. And then identity theft restoration. So, God forbid your identity is stolen. A Privacy Pro specialist at DuckDuckGo is going to help you restore your stolen accounts, recover financial losses, and even help you correct your credit report. All of that. It's a 3-fer. This is one of the reasons I love that DuckDuckGo, the VPN, works on the browsers, apps across mobile and desktops, up to 5 devices at one time. 30-day free trial. Do this now, because this opportunity is going to go away very quickly. So duckduckgo.com/1210. After the free 30 days, you pay $9.99 a month. duckduckgo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, write this number down or put it into your phone. 800-909-1822. The IRS is hiring more staff and cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to learn about our tax debt reduction programs and how to stop the collection efforts. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or years of unpaid taxes, even if you're already in a payment plan, we can help. Through special IRS programs, you may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a fraction of what you owe. Tax Relief Helpers has helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. No matter what amount you or your business owe to the IRS, call our tax relief hotline now for a free consultation and see what savings you may qualify for. Don't tackle the IRS on your own, and don't risk having your wages, Social Security, even your pension seized. Call now. Call 800-909-1822. That's 800-909-1822. 800-909-1822.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Not yet. Do it today. Okay. At 1210 WPHT. WPHT. Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
These unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey, they're saying they should declare some kind of a state of emergency.
Here's a marketing idea. I know yesterday was the sales day, so this probably won't be heard for another 6 days. We need to have a Kale and Company drone watch party.
Oh, boy.
We gather wherever these are. We'll go to Jersey, get mulligans on the line. Yeah. We're all going to sit outside, put the fire pits on. We'll have some drinks, and we'll watch drones.
Johnny Z, are you listening, buddy?
Let's go.
Open up mulligans. Let's do this, buddy.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Who never said their name.
The Federal Reserve likely to cut rates for the third time when it meets next week. Consumers could see some of their borrowing costs come down as well, from credit cards to car loans, mortgages. I don't know. I always, don't you ever notice when they announce these things, hey, we're going to lower these rates? It's just like when gas prices go way up. Doesn't it seem like it takes a lot longer for them to go down? I don't know. So let's hope. He talked about this a lot yesterday when he was ringing that bell on the New York Stock Exchange and talking about lowering the rates. He also has floated the idea of pushing in, credit card companies to go to just 10%, to let just for a little bit, to let people catch up, because some of the rates are 28+%, some are 30%. It's insane. So it's a 2-day meeting. It's December 18th, so it would mark the third rate cut in a row, and so we'll look forward to that. Although some analysts say that the Fed might take a wait-and-see approach because there's some, because of the incoming, obviously, new administration with President-elect Donald J. Trump's fiscal policy. He takes, obviously, sworn in January 20th. We're watching that one for you very carefully. There's another story that I've been following, and that one is, and that we've talked a lot about the insurance industry in the headlines right now because of the brutal, brazen execution style or assassination style shooting of an American CEO, Brian Thompson, who was buried this week. His wife, 2 sons, grieving over his death. And we'll talk more moving forward about the latest on the case of the accused killer who's still here in Pennsylvania. Obviously, I've been updating that for you throughout the morning since Kale and Company. But, I've talked about these. PDMs that you've heard a lot about. Basically the consigliere, the middleman, if you will, between the insurance company and the pharmaceuticals and you and me. And the PBMs in the news, because we could see that even as Congress now, and we always hear about this, they're creating all this legislation, budgetary legislation at the end of a year, and you fear that they're going to put a lot of pork in there. But maybe there's something good here, as there are headlines that Speaker Johnson may actually begin the Trump healthcare agenda in this end of the year spending package. That would be a good thing. And so if they're looking at, and we've seen the issues with the PBMs, we've talked about the loopholes, and we've talked about the PBM, the so-called middleman, that basically what the accusation here, if you've heard me talk about this, the accusation against them, and researchers suggest this, that in other words, as they're negotiating the quote-unquote deal, they get their vig, as Zioli always says. And so when there's that middleman involved, guess what? They get a little something for themselves, and that means we pay more. And so that's one of the allegations against those so-called PBMs that are a loophole, because they can profit, right? They have a little more power and a little more wiggle room. And so that's one of the accusations against them, and maybe why, people feel like they're supposed to be a concierge. I can tell you, in my healthcare, they give you the literature and they say, well, this is like a concierge service, a middleman that's going to help you. Well, in truth, they actually work for the very health insurance company. And so they're not an independent group that perhaps is standing up for you. That's not what this is. So we have that going on. But let's wait and see as far as what Mike Johnson does, what Speaker Johnson gets done. So we're watching that one very carefully as well. And then since I'm talking a little bit about consumer news, I will simply tell you that I saw that, the Pennsylvania Utility Commission, did you see they're giving PECO had requested another rate hike. I think PECO wanted, as I read about it, 12.5% hike. And that's on top of the recent hikes that we've seen, but it's a 10% hike. Again, we're already in Pennsylvania paying, according to all the research, about 45% more for our energy costs. And now this takes effect January 1st. So your PECO bill going up once again. Happy New Year. I know.
On the topic of insurance, we were talking before the show about a Lakeland woman down in Florida, Miss Boston. I do have that story set up if you wanted to talk about that at all.
Yeah, and this is so the fear about any case, quite frankly, in the news, dominating the news headlines, is of a copycat. We've talked a lot about this, and FBI profilers will tell you, unfortunately, with a school shooter, it's why, quite frankly, I will rarely report if I have news of a bomb threat. Oftentimes we don't report it. The reason being, whatever it is with bomb threats, for some bizarro reason, you report one, you're going to get 20. It's crazy. I know, but that's how it is. Bomb threats into municipal buildings, into schools, etc. Same goes for these types of cases with the assassination of this American businessman, which is such a tragedy, that happened December 4th. And we'll update you more on the case at the top of the hour at 11. But in this case, I want to get your take on this, because just keep in mind as you hear about this, the headlines are saying, Florida woman copycat of the UHC accused killer. This is a mom of three, married mom of three, has never in her life been accused of a crime, let alone charged with a crime, fingerprinted, jailed. You'll hear broke down in the courtroom, couldn't believe it. And this all began with this mom of three. And I don't know if she was on the phone with her health insurance company. This is Blue Cross Blue Shield. I don't know if it was that she was trying to get something covered for herself, for her husband, for one of her three children. But it started with a call that we can all relate to, where mom is on the phone pleading with the insurer to please cover this recent medical bill, and they tell her she's denied. So that's what you're about to hear, and this is making national headlines. Listen in.
In our newsroom, and Evan, this woman is accused of using the same words that Mangione.
They're actually not the same words.
Into those shell casings found at the scene of the murder.
Exactly.
Hey, Chris, that's right. It's all too familiar this week. She said, delay, deny, depose, and you people are next. This was all over a phone call with a Blue Cross Blue Shield employee. But I spoke with a lawyer who says even given the tragedy in the healthcare world this week, the charges against her are too severe. A 42-year-old married mother of 3 from Lakeland was in court today, charged with threats to conduct an act of terrorism and a mass shooting for a phone call with a healthcare agent.
Charges written threat to kill or injure, conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism. That's a second-degree felony, punished by 15 years in Florida State Prison.
She's accused of threatening the Blue Cross Blue Shield employee using the now infamous language associated with the accused United Healthcare CEO killer. Brianna Boston admitted to saying, delay, deny, depose, you people are next. We spoke with a lawyer about the case.
I think it's an overcharge. In reality, there's nothing in her communication that specifically says she's going to commit a mass shooting. I think it's more falls on that free speech line, on that protected speech. Although stupid, although ignorant, something you shouldn't say, the law allows you to say stupid, ignorant things, and even violent things, as long as it's not what's called a true threat.
He said a true threat would be to a particular person or a more actionable statement. He likened her angry language to what thousands are posting on social media this week.
If you post something stupid on Twitter and it's read by somebody who may work for some company, and they're taking it as a threat, then are we going to go and arrest every person on Twitter because they say stupid things? And this case really is that. It's somebody who talked to an individual who she doesn't know, has never met, has never probably even spoken to, and said words that a lot of people are uttering on social media.
Still, the judge in her first court appearance setting bond at $100,000, referencing the tensions in the U.S. around healthcare right now.
I do find that the bond of $100,000 is appropriate considering the status of our country at this point.
I think that works better for her in reality, because it goes back to her saying this is political hyperbole. This is me expressing my frustration.
And so that's the local news story there, making national news, copycat of Luigi Mangione. First of all, I will tell you the words. The one thing that they should have clarified in their report is that she did not use the exact words of the words that were etched on the bullets that were found in the body of a victim in New York. Okay, and so that does make it difference right there. I'll say that makes a difference. And so she had said, delay, deny, depose. Ironically, or not ironically, but there's a book written by actually a Rutgers professor, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. 2010 book by Rutgers law professor Jay Feynman. So as far as this case goes, Mrs. Boston, the 42-year-old married mother of 3, that's what she was quoting. She did say, according to, and this was a recorded call, she said to the police when they came to her door, she said something to the effect of, yes, I did say that. I didn't mean it. I apologize. And so she admitted to the officers that she said that. And they said, well, you can't say that. And she said, well, it's in the news or something to that effect. But she did quickly apologize. Here's the thing. This Blue Cross Blue Shield, they called the feds. They called the FBI, who then called the local police, who then went, and she admitted it. And so I think that she is stunned that she was arrested. I reviewed because they record, it was a recorded court session when she had to go before the court there. She's being held at the Polk County Sheriff's Office in Florida. And you see her as, she breaks down in tears and breaks down during this proceeding. Look, I know that it was not appropriate that she went off on somebody who, obviously this was a long conversation. They denied repeatedly the claim that she was trying to get them to cover. She became frustrated. You never should be, no worker in any company should take somebody's verbal abuse. And I get that, of course. I think in this case to charge her with a felony that carries a 15-year sentence. I mean, you tell me if that's appropriate, that she would be charged with, quote, threats to conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism. Felony terrorism charges, 15 years behind bars, 0 criminal record, does not own or have a firearm, never has possessed any weapons of any kind. And so she has now, and she and her husband have hired an attorney, I believe, because this happened Tuesday. I don't know that she has made bail. And so her own attorney has said that she's never had any criminal charges. Her own attorney is asking for her to be released on her own recognizance. And this is now trending on social media, Free Brianna, Justice for Brianna. And so you may see some of this, but it strikes me that you're not seeing Brianna as much as you are, and she did nothing violent. She's a mom who became frustrated on the phone. Not that that's right, but you're not seeing her trending as much as Luigi, who we know by his first name, being held here in Pennsylvania. So 855-839-1210 if you want to sound off on that one. I imagine we have to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hear about the great cars, though, first. At Piazza.
Okay, we'll talk about, yes. We'll end on a much lighter, brighter note for sure as we think about, this holiday season and our friends at the Piazza, they give so much. They were just here yesterday at Odyssey World Headquarters donating money to help children, hospitalized children. Earlier in the week, opening up a brand new, and by the way, local employer started in our area, more than half a century ago by their patriarch, Mr. Piazza. Just a great family starting this business, and there's no greater time of year to give back than the holiday season. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're always partnering with the Salvation Army for the Piazza Toy Drive. They do this every year. You can visit any of the Piazza or Delaware Piazza Premium showrooms, and that's through December 16th, so it's through this upcoming Monday. So I hope you can make sure that you do this. Donate a new unwrapped toy. Your support makes the holidays a little brighter for a local child. Just find the dealership nearest you online, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com, PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Thank you. Happy holidays. Tell them Dawn sent you.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The secret to savings is out. One place, 2 words.
More money!
Starting at just $3.99, you can find something for everyone in your family and on your list. Make it easy for yourself. Grab gifts that are already in a box. If you're looking for serious savings and style, grab Adidas, Champion, Puma, Reebok, Converse. The list goes on and on. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10.
More money!
You can put a bow on these brands and won't break the bank.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years.
He was in big trouble.
We're going to take your house, garnish your pay.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm.
I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Actual client compensated for sharing their experience. Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by calling 844-300-LEAF to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water, and it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty, so you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Call Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate and to save up to 30%. Dial 844-300-LEAF. That's 844-300-LEAF.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Watch me! Watch me! I got it! Watch me! I got it! Hey!
So what does beer have to do with the drones and the big story with all the drones sightings? So we'll tell you that around the corner, and we do have some updates on that one as well. The story just gets crazier by the minute. Real quick here, and I said this in the 6 o'clock hour, that if you have one of those Stanley cups, you know how popular they are. Maybe you a while ago bought somebody one of those expensive Stanley cups, stainless steel. They cost a fortune. Some of them are collectible. They have a recall on the Stanley cups because apparently the lids, there's a malfunction and they can leak and there's a burning risk. So they'll give you your money back, or they'll fix whatever it is. But I always just try to pass along any kind of a recall. But it's a voluntary recall. But I don't know if people have been burned by this thing. Obviously, people with hot soup, hot coffee, whatever. So if you got one of those Stanley cups, before you stuff it in the stocking this Christmas, you want to make sure it's not on the recall list. So we have so much to tell you about. We'll update you on the drone story. We have more financial news. We have Trump news. We have local news. We have oh my gosh. There's so much just ahead. This is the Dawn Show at Dawn Stensland. If you want to comment, 855-839-1210. Take a quick break. Be right back.
Up and down.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I can't recommend enough my friend and dentist, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. But I also want to share a little secret with you. You know, we're in the final stretch of 2024. As you know, you could possibly have dental insurance benefits expiring soon. Come January, most benefits reset. So if you've been putting off getting that dental procedure done, now is the time to schedule your appointment and use any remaining benefits for 2024. Dr. Mike's office will help you work through all of it, so just give them a call. Dr. Mike Veneria is the master of implant dentistry. His level of care and commitment to dental dental excellence is unmatched. And if you're nervous to go to the dentist, don't be. Dr. Mike and his staff makes your dental experience simple. He's been named a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. He's respected among his peers as being a master of dental implants. And yes, he's my family dentist. So stop putting off seeing a dentist or getting that complex dental procedure done, and don't waste those benefits. Taking care of your teeth is so important to your overall health. So call his office at 856-786-2020 or VeneriaDental.com. That's VANARIA, VeneriaDental.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Yes, in response to talking about PICO rates going up, Sylvie McDonald and Delco, I hear you, and I'm so sorry. Condolences with the Democrats imposing a 23% tax hike on top of last year's 5% tax hike, and then the 10% utility hike. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen, going up? Welcome to Blue Delco. Maybe it won't be as blue for so long. You know what I mean? That passionate meeting this week, a lot of people are furious that they've raised those taxes. And so we'll see what effect that has in Delco as well as Montco. You know, there's this story, there's so much going on, but I do want to get to this. And the headline is, RFK Jr. wants to get rid of the polio vaccine. So the truth is, it's a lawyer and advisor who works for him, and they're doing some filings, and this is making national news. It's RFK Jr.'s lawyer asking the FDA, this is the headline, to revoke the polio vaccine approval. So, you know, what are they talking about here? I know we've said that's the one vaccine I would think that they wouldn't mess around with. And so you have some audio on this one, Dan? As far as the latest on this?
MSNBC reacting to it, and as you can assume, they jump to the most extremes. Take a listen.
New reporting from the New York Times, perhaps Kennedy's top aide, one of his top aides, has in the past petitioned, as you can see it here, has asked the FDA to revoke approval of the polio vaccine, a vaccine that has saved countless and protected countless lives. Your thoughts?
You know, we've been talking a lot this morning. Obviously, we just finished one segment talking about elements of national security that affect the American public. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of America's interest at a sidewalk level and national security, I think most people, in terms of the names of Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel, it's basically, skywriting. It just disappears in their minds because they're more concerned about family security. And the idea that Jonas Salk, 75 years ago, created the Salk vaccine to help eradicate polio. I went to grammar school with kids who came to the same grammar school classroom I sat in, who were wearing braces and sticks to carry them through the day, to walk. They had polio. The idea that we're going to eliminate the Salk vaccine and take a look at vaccines that all infants and children get to prevent measles and other really radical diseases that could cause harm to them. The idea that we're talking about eliminating them based upon the quackery of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and it is quackery. And he's a very smart guy, and he ought to know better, but he clearly doesn't know better. But the idea that we're still seriously talking about eliminating vaccines for many children is almost beyond belief.
And so you would infer from the headlines that are happening right now and from what they're saying that RFK Jr. is trying to get the polio vaccine pulled or revoked. And the truth is what the story is. The truth is Aaron Siri, who's a lawyer who is helping to vet candidates for top health positions, and RFK Jr. advisor, that's what he's being called. He has a history, apparently, of challenging vaccine policies in the courts. And so that's a whole lot different when you see a headline like this or you hear him talking about it. You wouldn't, am I wrong here? I mean, you would infer that what they're saying on this show, and when I look at and I pull up all the headlines, you would immediately think, oh my gosh, what? That's crazy. They're trying to pull or revoke the polio vaccine. So that's not happening. But this is somebody who has, and I'm fact checking, has a history of challenging vaccine policies in the courts. And this is Aaron Siri, who is a lawyer who's helping vet candidates for these top health. He's a lawyer and he specializes in health issues. Okay, he does not have a decision-making role. He does not think for RFK Jr. And RFK Jr. has personally, to my knowledge, never suggested that the polio vaccine gets revoked. And so this right here is the seed that, in fact, is planted by a lot of people, right, on a Friday, and you're running around doing your holiday
exactly
shopping.
What's happening here, Dawn? You are right on point.
It's just, this infuriates me.
Yeah, so we're going to hear from someone.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
I know we want to hear from her.
His mother-in-law
Smile
is
and
rich.
say hello to polio. I would laugh if it weren't so scary. Donald Trump just picked RFK Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. This is a man who wants to stop kids from getting their polio and measles shots. He's actually welcoming a return to polio, a disease we nearly eradicated. But it doesn't stop there. RFK Jr. also doesn't believe fluoride should be in your water, and that's what keeps your teeth from rotting. You can't make this stuff up.
She's, Jeff Bartos earlier. She is cray cray.
Yeah.
Let's just say it like it. She cray cray. So these are politicians doing what they do. The problem here is that we don't have gatekeeping anymore in the media. We have people who want to get clicks. And so they put these headlines out there. And even though if you would take a minute, which I know I'm not you obviously would take a minute, but the average person does not take a moment to just look beyond the headlines and say, wait a minute, there's somebody currently right now asking for the polio vaccine to be revoked, that's not what is happening. It's not happening now. Didn't happen yesterday. Didn't happen last week. But somebody who has a very long career in health issues filed certain things in court that perhaps had something to do with a lawsuit or whatever, and made certain suggestions in the context of being a lawyer in court and doing filings. That does not speak to what RFK Jr. would do or has done. Do you know what I'm saying? 855-839-1210 if you want to sound off on that. But this is what just makes me crazy with the media, because they know what they're doing. They are complicit. And so this is the media now going after RFK Jr. It won't work because it's so outlandish. And RFK Jr. has multiple times, he has said on the record, I'm vaccinated. My kids are vaccinated. We're all vaccinated. We have the polio vaccine. We have the measles, whatever. We have all the basic vaccines. His whole thing, to my understanding, two things. Number one, he is one of those people that differentiates between something like a flu shot, right? That's what the COVID shot is. It's a flu shot. And so he differentiates between those seasonal type shots that we might get. My husband, Larry Menti, and I would have him call in. I don't know if he's driving home yet, but he went to CVS, he got his flu shot. He just said, "Oh, I got my flu shot. I'm glad I got it." And I said, "No, I'm good." I just didn't want it. I chose not, because it's not an immunization. So I'm good. But he goes and gets it. It's a yearly thing. And then, of course, David is sick for the past 2 days. So then I'll get sick and I'll go, "See, you should have had the floor."
Blame Larry. Is it Larry's fault that he's sick?
No.
Right.
And the kids usually, David often does get a flu shot. This year, I don't know. I just didn't get it. I always look it up because you could tell from Australia, and then you can tell how effective it is. So it's kind of like a gamble, I guess. I'm not questioning flu shots or COVID shots. You be you. I'm just not doing it. That's just me. But anyway, I'm probably going to get now I'll get pushback on that. I don't care. It's Friday. It's Feisty Friday. It's Friday the 13th.
Conservative radio host speaks out against flu shots and defending RFK.
Aye. But no, that's different. I mean, so a seasonal flu shot or a COVID shot, that's very different from something that's critical like polio. And so RFK Jr. has come out repeatedly. I don't know how many more times he can say it.
Yeah.
He has repeatedly said he's not against the polio vaccination because it's an immunization. I do think it's part of this is about the wording. And so we need to word things differently, such as there are some things that are immunizations where you get one immunization, let's say at some point when you're a kid, and they've been around for, 50 years, and they're fantastic, and those are proven winners. And then there are other things that are more recent that I think we have a right to research them and look at them. And I also think with regard to, and we, does this get to the Ron Paul? I'll tell you what, the way that you can talk about wisdom and gauge wisdom, when I look at somebody, the consistency of Dr. Ron Paul or Dr. Rand Paul, and I look at their consistency on pretty much every issue, they are consistent. It's amazing to me, actually. And these are doctors, physicians, so this is right in their wheelhouse. Let's go to this, Dan, if we could, because I think, when you think of the wisdom of somebody like Dr. Ron Paul or now his son, who I think is consistent and brilliant, and they don't have good hair, but they have good wisdom, good wise words on many issues when it comes to the deep state, when it comes to the manipulation by the swamp and clearing out the swamp. Listen in.
Yeah, so this is actually clipped on. It's crazy. It's from 1988. So take a listen. Why is my thing not working with space?
Your thing's not working?
It's not working. It's so annoying, Dawn. Why? Here it is.
Most of our history, we didn't have those institutions. The FBI came in during the First World War. And interestingly enough, the one thing that Woodrow Wilson did, he used the FBI to spy on American citizens and actually arrests them if they disagreed with his foreign policy about going to war in Europe. And isn't it interesting how recent they used it in the Vietnam era? Democrats used it there. Republicans used the FBI to spy on 100 different groups in this country, including the churches, who disagree with the policy in Central America. It almost looks like the FBI was designed to spy on Americans who might be disagreeing with policy, especially the foreign policy. So the FBI, although I don't think I could condemn everything they've ever done, because I'm sure some of the investigations and investigation of crime has been beneficial, but that could be accomplished through Justice Department within our states. We wouldn't reject that portion of it. But I think the FBI has kept and continues to keep a lot of records on a lot of individuals.
Yeah, so that was on, I think that might have been retweeted by Elon Musk. It was like, this morning I just was up at way too, 2:30 in the morning. I'm looking at all this stuff.
What's
I know.
Why are you loving? Yeah.
I said, this is just so wise, and it transcends, time. But when we think about Dr. Anthony Fauci, I've talked a lot about those hearings with the Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic, with Dr. Anthony Fauci, with NIH, with the CDC. And now that we will have control as far as Republicans can push for public accountability and transparency. And by the way, I wish Republicans would do this. I'll cross my fingers and say a prayer, because the political parties, they could have done this a long time ago, but they are all in power. I would wish that they would put it into place where you do not have to be the party in power to push for this kind of investigation. Do you know what I'm saying? So in other words, when Democrats are in control, they control the agenda and they can investigate what they want, and the minority party can't. We need to change that. And we also, with the freedom of information requests at the local level, like with Meg Brock, I've talked to her for how many years now. She's still dealing with her own county where she's a taxpayer, giving her a hard time, blocking her phone, and not answering freedom of information requests. So whether it's the local level or whether it's at the federal level, we need to have this transparency, and we need to make it so that these individuals, whether it's a county health department, and by the way, can we clean that up? I wish that, the AG coming in, Dave Sunday, I've talked to him a lot, as you all know. I wish that there were investigations into these county level health departments, even at the state level, that would say, isn't this really, overkill, if you will? Why do we need all these county health departments? The state provides the coverage. And so that's one of the reasons Delco, I just mentioned that that's why your taxes have gone up nearly 30% in less than 2 years. That's why that's happening, because they wanted to create that health department. Why did they have to create that health department? When we think about Montgomery County, the same way, and they expand these health departments, it's creating bloat and bureaucracy, but it's another way that they can have regulations and they control your life and your small business, etc. And that's why they do it. And then the taxpayers get stuck with a higher tax bill. It's insane. But we'll talk more about this. I remember logging that Fauci when he testified, and that was one of those fiery back and forth, Yeah. Remember that one? And then the other individuals, and they actually have code language, and they have instructionals where they instruct people, and this is at the state level and at the local level and at the federal level. So at the NIH, they know that somebody could file a freedom of information request. So they have little code language, or they have other website or other private emails that they're not supposed to be on that they will go to. And so they're getting busted on this, but this has been a huge investigation. I just hope to God they blow that wide open and we get to the bottom of everything. And then at that point, I want to know this. First of all, are there going to be criminal charges against those who put us in danger, quite frankly? And they, my God, they damaged us. They damaged my kids. They damaged us. They ruined businesses. They ruined lives. They ruined our economy. This is what I feel. And if indeed they have tangible evidence of that, and I'm not saying they do, I want criminal charges brought forth. And then what about monetary damages for the American people? Who's going to talk about reparations? Everybody deserves to be repaid and to have this repaired. They damaged all of us. They ruined careers. They fired people, and they were vicious, and they harmed people. It's wrong. But then no. They're going to, Mika and Joe, there they are. They're high paid, bloated pontificators. They irritate me to no end. And I just wait for their marriage to crumble. Not that I hope for anybody's marriage to crumble, but it will be an epic breakup. Let's just put that out there, right?
Yeah, and bringing it all back to RFK, to your point of the lack of transparency from Fauci or from governmental organizations, you heard Elizabeth Warren in that clip say.
But it doesn't stop there. RFK Jr. also doesn't believe fluoride should be in your water, and that's what keeps your teeth from rotting. You can't make this stuff up.
Can I read you just a portion of an article from CNN, Dawn, back on September 25th, 2024? And this is why I just want some kind of investigation into this stuff, or allow some kind of conversation rather than it being shrugged off as conspiracy theories whenever fluoride is mentioned. From the Associated Press, September 25th, 2024, headline, Fluoride in drinking water poses enough of a risk to merit new EPA action, judge says. Reading from the article, a federal judge has ordered the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to further regulate fluoride in drinking water because high levels could pose a risk to intellectual development of children. U.S. District Judge Edward Chen cautioned that it's not certain that the amount of fluoride typically added to water is causing lower IQ in kids, but he concluded that mounting research points to an unreasonable risk that it could be. He ordered the EPA to take steps to lower that risk, but didn't say what those measures might be. The prior month, in August, the federal agency determined, quote, with moderate confidence that there is a link between higher levels of fluoride exposure and lower IQ in kids. National Toxicology Program based that conclusion on studies involving fluoride levels at about twice the recommended limit for drinking water. In that lawsuit, the EPA defended, saying that it wasn't clear what impact fluoride exposure might have at lower levels, but the agency is required to make sure there is a margin between the hazard level and exposure level, and if there is an insufficient margin, then the chemical poses a risk. So, look, there's questions about fluoride that are indeed real. And when you have Elizabeth Warren out there making a mockery out of it, that's to RFK's point that, like, why are we as a country not looking into what might not? I've never heard him say it is damaging, but what might be damaging our children. We should look into it.
Yeah, and so they've put this in water for years, and so I think it started in the mid 1940s. If you look at the history of it, RFK Jr. and many others, quite frankly, have talked about fluoride exposure. So when you go to the dentist and they can put a fluoride treatment on your teeth, and they can do all kinds of treatments. It's a one-time treatment. But in this case, it's in our drinking water. We're consuming it. We're in a hot shower. You're showering with it. So the question is, does it cause cognition issues? Does it cause neurodevelopmental issues? Does it contribute to things like HD, the ADHD and all these other neurodevelopmental issues that we see in children? It's a question that's a legitimate question. And by the way, there are many other countries in the world that don't put the amount of fluoride or any fluoride in the water. And you, of course, have the right, if you have a whole house water filtration system, which Dom and Roe Giordano have, and I covet that water filtration system because it's awesome. Because if you can choose, in many ways in our fridge, we have a special filter. It's going to filter the floor, that kind of thing out. But if you don't want to shower in it with the hot water, the steam, all that stuff, then you want that whole house water filtration system. So it's an issue. And RFK Jr. has, he has every right to question it. Why not? Look into it. Put some money in there. They put money in everything else and study it. Okay, we do have to take a break. 855-839-1210. I see you on the YouTube chat. Thanks for being here with us. If you want to call in, 855-839-1210. We'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, we've talked about your cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care. Why is that so vital?
It sure helps me diagnose and elevate the level of care I can offer if I'm using the latest technology. I use it on a normal, everyday basis, and I can see things that it's just missed. It's not misdiagnosed, but you can't see something that your equipment won't allow you to. So I feel that if I can't utilize what's out there, and it takes a lot to be trained on it, feel comfortable, that can work for everyone. Not just these advanced cases, but it gives you a very consistent, efficient, and predictable result.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Business owners can count on McCausland Lock and Alarm to secure and control access to their facilities. Enjoy peace of mind while their access control and CCTV systems provide top-of-the-line protection for your assets. Tom McCausland's wealth of experience allows McCausland to effectively protect all types of facilities in any environment, and their customer service is unmatched. Call today, 610-430-1500. 610-430-1500. McCausland Lock and Alarm, securing your business, securing your future.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember. Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right. They handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-458-0279. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-458-0279. 800-458-0279. Or oxcarcare.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Yeah, Betty, Rizzo, they did steal time from our lives. They did. And I want it all to come out. The good, the bad, the ugly, mangle mush, bloat and bureaucracy. Great wording, Dawn. Thank you, mangle mush. Appreciate you. Susie loves Jeffy. Says, I like Rand Paul's hair. All right. I don't know. People make fun of his hair.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan. Yeah.
And she also says, say no to fluoride. So a lot of you, talking about the fluoride. Everything has fluoride as far as all the toothpaste. Do we really need it? Well, let's get to somebody with a private well. Joe in Hilltown. Oh, boy. According to Elizabeth Warren, your teeth must be rotting because you have a private well. You don't have that fluoride you're drinking.
Okay, Hilda, just one thing. In general, everybody is asking the wrong question.
Okay.
You're asking, what does fluoride do or whatever chemical for me? No. If it doesn't harm you, you don't need it. I mean, I'm an unvaxxed person. I didn't take the COVID vaccines. I'm 74 years old. I'm perfectly healthy. Mm-hmm. We have a well. I eat most of the meat I eat is game meat. I grow a lot of my own food. You don't need all this other stuff. And your question is, what does it help me? No, if it doesn't harm you, you don't need it.
And a lot of people, I think the problem people have with it is that we don't even have a choice. And there aren't, they're not doing all these studies that people are demanding, especially amid all these questions that, by the way, RFK Jr., he's talking about it, which is why it's in the headlines, but he didn't start this conversation. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. But then, and one other thing you said, all these people should be compensated.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to compensate them?
Well,
the same people that got screwed are going to have the taxes increased so they can compensate themselves.
I mean, and that's I'm saying it as a rhetorical because it'll never happen, But I just feel like all these other individuals, Congress members, get wealthy and wealthier. By the way, I hope they fix that essentially they're allowed to. I saw a great. Well, I'll keep on this topic, but I did see a great commentary where somebody was explaining from Congress talking about the fact that it would be like a referee being able to bet on the game. And that's essentially when we have lawmakers and they're actually able to remain in the stock market, but they know what's to come.
Well,
that kind of reform.
I watch Jim Cramer a lot on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big investment guy. He's not allowed to invest in his own private stocks. He can just buy like a mutual fund. So he can't benefit himself by it makes
we're
like
losing
Congress too.
Yeah, we're losing your signal a little. Thank you so much for your call, Joe. Really appreciate it. Glad your teeth are good, solid teeth there. But that just shows you in the private sector, of course, they have training. They make sure they say you need to sign these forms. If you're talking about stocks, you're not allowed to, trade them or be a hedge fund manager. And yet, and I know they've claimed that they've gotten tougher on it, but there are so many loopholes. You and I have talked about it many times. So, Jim in Parksburg. Hey, Jim. 855.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
I just wanted to touch base about the fluoride thing. I read a biography of Henry Ford, and one of the things I learned in there was that he had all these aluminum shavings left over from their manufacturing, and he hired somebody to find a use for it, because then before that they had to just have it towed away and pay to have it taken away. So what they came up with was fluoride, and all of a sudden it's a miracle for your teeth. But fluoride is an aluminum-based product, and that's how it began. And it took root from there as a useful thing for everyone to have. But before that, apparently we did fine without it. But all of a sudden now everybody needs fluoride. Another thing that he found too is he had all this wood product left over. So he got one of his relatives to develop it into Kingsford charcoal. So that's how Kingsford charcoal got started. But that's just a sideline here. But the point of the biography was that he found a use for the aluminum, and it was fluoride.
Oh, I love the history. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Jim. Hey,
I don't like to cause doubt on any listener, but I just want to throw this out there as well. So I'm doing some research. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I did find that a bulletin from 2000 that it was actually a service issued in 2009 by Ford, but it was talking about evaporator cores that came from flakes from a vehicle's evaporator core. And what happened is, back in the day, these cores were producing chemicals that were causing eye and respiratory tract irritation, and allegedly that irritation was the result of fluorosis. And one of the first responses to treating fluorosis was the development of fluoride. Looking into it, it looks like it was developed allegedly here by some dentists back in the early 1900s. But it may be some, twisting of the wires there. I don't know, but I just want to throw that out there because I don't want to state that caller, what he said was fact, because I don't know for sure.
Well, he's just suggesting that might be way back in the day that it started as maybe Ford saying that.
Yeah.
Obviously we're not putting shavings of anything, you know what I mean, industry shavings in our water.
Yeah.
But around the corner, I'm going to tell you about Biden's pardons, and one of the people he has just pardoned is a corrupt former Pennsylvania judge. A victim's mother speaking out about this. Biden has commuted his sentence just yesterday. So we'll get to that story. This is causing a lot of controversy. And then who else is to come? Because I just wonder if Biden pardons his entire family. He pardons Liz Cheney, so many people. That's what's to come, and that's why he has to cover things up. So we'll talk about all the pardons, the commutations, and what's going on. And it is a Friday, Freaky Friday the 13th, on a busy holiday. So this is the time of year when people are paying the least attention. So that's when these kinds of commutations and pardons, that's when this is going to happen. So we're watching carefully. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic, they've been building such a great reputation for transforming kitchens with incredible precision and care, from the custom cabinets they do to the countertops, backsplashes, storage solutions. And by the way, they're a local employer. They create all of this. So it's not that they farm out any of these projects. They do everything in-house themselves, and they take such pride in their work. They get the job done fast and beautifully. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without the hassle. You can trust the name your neighbors have been relying on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation, kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. kitchenmagic.com. Get this on the calendar. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The cold air mass will remain in place through the weekend. It'll be partly sunny today and less windy, high of around 38. Very cold again tonight, mostly clear, low 22 for the city and teens in the coldest suburbs. And Saturday, expect plenty of sunshine, still a high temperature well below average at 38.
Before I went to law school, I worked for the telephone company and was a card-carrying member of CWA and AFL-CIO. Unions play a powerful role in protecting workers' rights. I spent a lot of time in union halls building this firm 30 years ago. We represented many union members and workers, and I call many across the country my brothers and sisters. If you ever need our help, we're just a call away. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Happy holidays to all. It's the perfect time to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements and their Deck the Hall sale, because right now you can save up to 78% on exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health. From essentials like omega-3s, probiotics, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. And the best part? Over a dozen health-boosting rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started. Stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Do it today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
I don't
I said to Larry, for Christmas, well, I wanted two things for Christmas. I wanted Trump to win, so at least I got that. And then I wanted tickets to see Mariah Carey in her Christmas concert. I'm a huge fan. She has an amazing voice. And so is one of my gifts, he got these amazing seats, right? I mean, just amazing seats in the Newark, New Jersey.
What a sweet present. That's so nice
Is
of
that
him.
so thoughtful of him?
What a great present that is.
I bought a new outfit, little sequins.
When was the concert going to be?
And the concert's tonight.
Oh, it's supposed to be tonight.
Tonight. Big date night. Like, when have
that
we
sounds
had...
amazing.
We never have date nights. Well, you know what Larry's going to say? See, you and Mariah, neither of you got your flu shot. I don't know if she got a flu shot, but I'm so sorry that she's sick. I know she's a pro, but she has had to cancel 2 more of her holiday shows. She has the flu.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So you don't. So you just. Because the thing is, though, like Mariah Carey, when she does a tour like this, she heavily books herself around Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And like when Bruce did his, show and he got sick, he rescheduled it for months in advance. But you can't reschedule for June and do All I Want for Christmas Is You.
So she put this on social media. She said, Newark and Belmont, I wish I had better news, but unfortunately I'm still sick. I have to cancel the show tonight and on Sunday. And she said, I'm really devastated about it. Appreciate your love.
Flu is confirmed.
Yeah, the doctor confirms it. Her next show is Tuesday the 17th, and that's her last show in the region, or maybe the last show altogether. It's in Brooklyn.
Man.
Brooklyn's Barclays Center.
So taking people behind the scenes during break, if you happen to be tuned into youtube.com/@1210WPHT, I had Dawn on the camera, and her guttural reaction to when she found out that this show had been canceled. I shuddered down to my core because I thought something bad had happened. Maybe we got some news about the drones or something, and we got some horrible news, but then I find out, oh no, Mariah Carey was canceled.
Sorry. So if you saw, I'm sorry. I way over. He's like,
it's
what?
horrible, though.
What?
I mean,
was
you're
like,
looking forward to this. You got a new outfit. It's terrible.
Ooh. Darn it. Well,
hopefully they get you a new date, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Boo.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It's no fun though.
They're bigger, and the thing is, you know what? This is when being in the news business and the news and information business puts things in perspective, right? Because you think about all the things going on in the world. We're blessed, and she's going to be okay. I mean, I don't know if, she's, when you're really rich and you have a private doctor, they can give you, this happened to Larry. He got really sick when the Eagles back in Jacksonville, Florida, taking you back a few years or so. So this was 19 years ago when, we were in the Super Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, and he got sick as a dog. And he worked for a competing station. I was doing all the Fox 29 10 o'clock shows, and everybody was, doing the local news down there, obviously. And so he got sick as a dog. The station sent him, and I forget if he was with NBC or CBS. I forget who he was with, but they sent a doctor. The night before, they gave him all these shots of whatever it was. The next morning, he was fine.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Need to find me one of these doctors.
Yeah. So whatever that was, they gave him all this medicine. It wasn't an IV. It was actually, they gave him a bunch of shots of whatever that was. I have no clue. He couldn't talk. Like, he was sick as a dog, had a fever, the whole thing. The next day, boom, he was fine. How amazing is that?
Did the doctor show up with one of those like old school traveling doctor bags?
I guess so.
Unfurl all the instruments onto the bed.
And then they tried to send him us a bill for like $5,000, and he was like, "What?
Whoa!
I didn't agree to my company. Like, yo, this is on you." So we didn't pay for it. But that's a little thing. I don't know what. I wish I knew what they gave him, but because usually the flu is viral, right? So I don't remember if they put him on antibiotics. I don't think they did. I think he just got a bunch of shots and kazoom. So I imagine that by next Tuesday, she's going to be okay. But maybe, just maybe, it's bad enough. See, if they nip it in the bud like that, I think If
The
you're
thing is,
rich,
though, like if she's scheduled for a weeknight, your schedule just doesn't work. I mean,
yeah, I can't go Tuesday. I work I work the next morning, so forget it. But
I'm sorry, Dawn.
oh, thanks. You're sweet. No, in the theme of life, we'll get to be with the kids tonight. They have nothing to do. It's a great weekend. Everybody's knock wood, except that David might have the flu, and I might be sick on Monday. Monday, and I have jury duty on Monday. That's cray. All right, so I do want to get to this judge. Do we have to take a break, or do you want to?
Let's run the judge. We can do that real quick here.
So this is a case that you may remember, and President Joe Biden is getting slammed. It was the story, everybody's picking it up, but originally the Citizen's Voice interviewed the victim's mother. And this is President Biden has been commuting, as you know, record numbers of sentences, pardoning all these people. This was a Pennsylvania judge, Luzerne County, Kids for Cash, so-called judge, convicted of imprisoning juveniles and then receiving millions and millions of dollars in kickbacks. And this is one of the guys that Biden has given a get-out-of-free jail card. So let's listen to, this is the mom, her son died.
Well, good evening, Nick and Ken. As I spoke with a victim of the Kids for Cash scheme, she is very angry and says this clemency for Conahan is simply wrong and an injustice. Judge Conahan, did you want to say anything about the guilty plea today to the taxpayers in Luzerne County?
I don't have a comment right now, Andy.
It's a big smack in the face for us once again.
The words of Kids for Cash victim Amanda Laura after hearing that President Biden commuted the sentence of disgraced Luzerne County Judge Michael Conahan.
We had no time to get any time taken away from us. We had nobody to write to talk to. But now we're talking about the President of the United States to do this. What about all of us?
Laura was one of thousands of juveniles who were wrongly imprisoned as part of the Kids for Cash scheme that involved Conahan and fellow Judge Mark Chivarella. They received $2 million in kickbacks in exchange for sending juveniles to 2 private detention centers in which they had a business interest. The scandal gained national attention. He and former Judge Michael Conahan entered a plea agreement to one corruption charge. Chivarella was convicted in 2011 on 12 of 39 counts and sentenced to 28 years in prison. In 2010, Conahan pled guilty to 1 count of racketeering conspiracy and was sentenced to 17.5 years in prison. He was released to home confinement in 2020 because of COVID-19 health concerns. Now, Amanda Laura was sent to detention for 5 years for simply being involved in a fight at a high school volleyball game.
So he wants to talk about with Conahan and everybody else, but what is Joe Biden doing for all of these kids that absolutely got nothing and almost no justice from this whole thing that happened? So it's nothing for us, but it seems that Conahan's just getting a slap on the wrist every which way he possibly could, still today.
That's a sin. So this is making national news because it, especially, here in Pennsylvania, that Luzerne County case. And the thing about it is this judge, he admitted to it. He confessed and he got millions in kickbacks. And that's a sin. I feel my heart goes out to this mom and just so many people. And that's the problem. These kids, they go to the juvie center. Generally speaking, here in Philadelphia, the complaint is the opposite. The complaint is the kids that should remain in the system, at least supervised, they get out immediately. And so because we're packed, we don't have the facilities for it. In this case, though, there were kids there were minor offenses. They should have gone to counseling. Obviously, it's not okay to get in a fight at a volleyball game or et cetera. But if, but that kind of thing, usually, especially on first offense, you would not keep them in the detention center. But see, it was a for-profit situation. So the judge gets the kickbacks and gets rich off of it, accepted more than nearly $2.5 million. That makes me nauseous. 855-839-1210. Quick break. We do have to talk about a beautiful place that we all can escape together. Well, luckily, I won't get the Mariah Carey concert, but the other big gift to our family, and we did this last year, is the conservative tours, this time to northern Italy. And this is an amazing gift of a trip of a lifetime, of an experience. For Larry and I this year, we celebrate 25 years of marriage, so we'll be celebrating our big anniversary with all of you in Italia. This time, this spring, on the Italian Riviera. I hope you join us. Lorenzo and Romina will be back with us. Once again, Conservative Tours, crafting an itinerary that's sure to enchant us. Tuscany, the Riviera, the northern Italian lakes region. Stunning. Cinque Terre, dining events you'll write home about. 5378, yes, that includes your airfare. Pisa, Michelangelo's Florence, the fashion capital of Milan. Call toll-free, do this now, 888-733-9494. You can go to conservativetours.com. This is almost sold out. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, a tour leader who is absolutely the best. That's what you can expect at Conservative Tours in Italy. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena, home to Il Palio, the medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Medina, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. See you in Portofino. ConservativeTours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
The secret to savings is out. One place, two words.
More money!
Starting at just $3.99, you can find something for everyone in your family and on your list. Make it easy for yourself. Grab gifts that are already in a box. If you're looking for serious savings and style, grab Adidas, Champion, Puma, Reebok, Converse. The list goes on and on. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10.
More money!
You can put a bow on these brands and won't break the bank.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Breaking news right now, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sustained an injury reportedly. This was during a congressional delegation trip to a World War II battlefield in Luxembourg. So she's 84 years young. She was with a bipartisan group of lawmakers commemorating the 80th commemoration of the Battle of the Bulge, Western European nation, injured, and she apparently is hospitalized, receiving treatments, as they say. Just wanted to bring you that latest report. As far as the drones, I know we talked a lot about the drones in Kale and Company. There are further calls for transparency and investigation. And the fact that the White House, we played John Kirby earlier this morning. Greg played it multiple times, I know. But for the White House to just poo-poo this and say there's nothing to see here. We had a light moment, though, when some New Jersey breweries did point out that they used drones, or they were testing out drones to do beer delivery, and suggested that maybe some of their drones might have been grouped in with the other big drones, and maybe people are seeing the beer delivery drones, which we kind of had a chuckle over. And I will say to you that, sure, it makes sense that we have a lot of drones, and maybe some people see that in the night sky and get concerned. But what we're talking about here, and what some of the senators like Van Drew, you've heard this week, Chris Smith talking about, and from as far away as Texas, other lawmakers, these are the size of an SUV, some of them the size of a small airplane. And so we need to figure this out. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying this is very odd. I did want to say one more thing about this corrupt judge, and what a scumbag, and admitted to doing this. But in this case, at the time, back in 2011, just to refresh your memory, back in the day when this case was here in Pennsylvania, it was called by Pennsylvania officials as one of the worst cases of judicial corruption in Pennsylvania's long history. That's how bad this was, that these two judges were essentially inappropriately keeping kids in juvie centers, even when it was a minor thing and they should have gone home with their parents, as with the mom that you just heard, but to their own, because they were lining their pockets, because these were privately run juvie centers. And so they kept these kids in custody and in very rough environments. And for a good kid, that could lead to a violent situation where, oops, he slipped or he committed suicide or whatever. And so in this case of her son, yes, her son never came home. I cannot even imagine her heartbreak. And this, by the way, as a result of this, thousands of juvenile sentences were actually vacated by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court in the wake of this huge, huge scandal. So Biden is being ripped for this, and this is getting a bipartisan backlash. But this judge did plead guilty, admitted his role in a scheme where he lined his pockets, millions of dollars. And this poor lady who you just were hearing, I can't even wrap my brain around that. And the fact that she now has to, this is in the headlines, and she's talking about her teenage son who never came home. And it's right before Christmas, right before Hanukkah and the holidays. Oh my God. That's a sin. This is Joe Biden. And you know what's going to come out because he's doing these record pardons? I guarantee you, see, he's just trying to hide within the record, the thousands, right, that he's pardoning. Who else is being pardoned, see? And so he's trying to hide others with regard to the J6 persecutors within his own family. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. But this poor Sandy Fonzo, as a mom of teenage boys, I can't even imagine your pain. And we're going to pray for you. I don't know what else to say. Dom Giordano, it's just, here we go. Joe Biden, once again, incompetent, even in pardoning people.
Yeah, and the Inquirer, they were all over it before, talking about these judges. And to your point, you and I both remember it. Yeah. We covered it a lot. This is one of the worst stories ever. Not saying as much about it today. Dawn, we're going to talk, though, with the mayor of Mine Hill, New Jersey, about Kirby. I heard you talking about Kirby. Just remarkable stuff. And Mark Squila, who I usually agree with, not on this, with the arena. I'm going to ask, doesn't it really come down to, it doesn't matter what the Chinatowns of the world, what happens to them. We knew this was going to happen years ago, and that's the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, $1.3 billion infused into the city.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear what he says. This is a great Dom show.